Good afternoon, YouTube. Teyla and Tamaskan with you guys today. Today we're going to just talk a little bit about dog parks and are they safe to take your dogs and or child, I guess. And today, of course, we have Teyla, our lovely Tamaskan wolf dog, or whatever she is, and my daughter Ezri. Say hi, Ezzy. You So today I'll throw up some footage of Teyla playing in the dog park, because as we can see today, there is nobody here. The last people left a few minutes ago, so we're just kind of out here by ourselves, which is kind of nice. But what I really wanted to talk about was I've heard a lot of people talk about how dog parks are unsafe and how they can get your dog hurt or yourself hurt, and really, I mean, all those things can certainly be true. And in fact, the other day, not at this dog park, another dog park in the Colorado Springs area, that was a fox rung. Teyla got into it, a shepherd bit her in the side pretty good. Nobody was hurt in the end. There was a little bit of cuts, but that's okay. Regardless of that, most of the time we have really good experiences. In fact, that's probably the only time that Teyla's really gotten into an incident in a few years. So that's okay. But the main things are to watch out for certain dog behaviors. Teyla here is probably not the best dog at the dog park. Usually Teyla, she's a very alpha female, and she just always has to be the boss. So a lot of the times when Teyla's coming up to people, she'll show her teeth, and she may growl a little bit, but that's almost always the extent of it. And especially if the other dogs submit, she just doesn't even care. But more dominant dogs can go on for a little showing of teeth and stuff, and Teyla most of the time will just back off and leave them be. But it can certainly be disconcerting to others, because Teyla is she's a 100-pound dog, and she can certainly be intimidating to a lot of people, and she's very, very vocal. She's always grumbling, growling, barking. That's just kind of how she is interacting with dogs, and it's how she plays too. I've had a lot of people come up and ask if the dogs are okay with some of the usuals we have here, just given how noisy they are and how aggressive they can seemingly look. I think one of the big things about going to a dog park is realizing that dogs are animals. As much as we make them to be our furry companions, we have to realize that dogs have certain behaviors, and they're a pack animal. When you come to a dog park, they want to sort themselves into a pack, and they want to establish dominance over one another. And that's a big deal with Teyla. Oftentimes in large groups of dogs, I'll try to kind of keep Teyla away from them, because in a group of dogs, Teyla is going to be the alpha, and she's going to try as hard as she can to be the alpha. And there's only a few dogs that get that rare pleasure of being dominant over Teyla. I think I can count here at this dog park. I've posted up videos of Lobo. He's a wolf dog, a very, very large wolf dog, which Teyla absolutely loves. And then Kona, a good friend Andy here, his husky. So those are pretty much the two dogs that get to basically do whatever they want with Teyla. Otherwise, I have to keep a check on her, and we try to correct and enforce good habits as best you can. But Teyla's still very young as far as a dog goes. Tamaskans don't usually hit their full maturity until 3 years of age, so I still think that there's some maturing to go, especially with her personality. And right now, she just always feels like she has to be the number one dog. But do what it can, and when she gets into scuffles, we have to just correct and move on. And that's the important thing about dog parks. The next thing we'll talk about is when to intervene. Dogs will growl, they'll bark at each other, they'll show their teeth, and hey, they might even start snarling at each other. But you know, at what point do you really want to intervene? A lot of times when dogs start to spat at each other, showing teeth or whatever, and immediately the owners will just want to jump in and grab their dogs and get them out of there. And grabbing your dog more times than not is not the right answer. As soon as you connect yourself to your dog, be it a leash or your hands, grabbing their harness or whatever else, they immediately feel that they need to protect you. And if they perceive the other dog as a threat, then you may set them off into wanting to attack, and that may set the other dog off into attacking too. So I usually let them, you know, I'll let them snarl and show teeth a little bit, and especially with Teyla, her mannerisms are a little bit different. I feel like Tamaskans kind of react differently. I'm not sure if it's just because of the breed mix or a little bit of wolf that may be in there, but you know, they'll show teeth. Sometimes they'll, you know, growl at each other, and then Teyla will want to play. And a lot of times that's how I see other dogs react, especially German Shepherds and Huskies. Those are probably the top breeds of dogs I see here. Here in Colorado, of course, Huskies are very, very common, so you see them all the time. So you got to be, you know, they're just vocal and very dominant dogs overall. And usually once they figure out their little pecking order, or you know, submission versus dominance, they're fine. And once Teyla has those spats with dogs, usually she never does again. And that's why I kind of come to one dog park as much as possible. Rampart's our favorite because she knows a lot of the dogs that come here, and she just doesn't have problems with them. And that's good, and that's, you know, building kind of your community of dogs and watching behaviors. And that's what it comes down to with dog parks. Is dog parks aren't inherently dangerous. You can have bad dogs or somebody who's not paying attention, and if it's a bad day where your dog, you know, is maybe off and they're snapping at somebody, and you just, you know, they're just going after another dog, then, you know, you grab them, you take them out of the park, and maybe you go for a walk instead. You know, once again, they're animals, so we have to treat them as such and realize what their moods are and how they're going to react to other animals, other dogs. So, and just because you have a bad incident or something happens at a dog park doesn't mean that they're all bad. You just have to watch those behaviors and, you know, come at a different time or try to work through it. Oftentimes with Teyla, if she's having a really bad day with another dog, I'll talk to the owner and be like, well, you know, they're just, you know, going after each other. Let's try to, you know, work it together. And oftentimes I'll go over, we'll have Teyla stay, and I'll go over and pet the other dog and try to get the smell of the other dog on me, so Teyla knows that the other dog is, you know, I'm okay with it. And a lot of times that helps a lot too. So there are methods and ways to get your dog and others to coexist, I guess. And so, you know, if your dog has problems, and I know there are some dogs that will just never do well at dog parks, and you have to recognize that as an owner. If your dog is too aggressive to come to a dog park, you know, work on behaviors at home and try to do your best you can to mitigate those behaviors before coming to a dog park. And if they have a bad day, take them out. And that's just being courteous to everybody else. You know, there's no reason to get upset if you've got to leave for one reason or another. I know a lot of people, I've seen it time and time again, where they'll get real upset over having to leave a dog park because either their dog or somebody else's is just not getting along. And but we don't want anybody to get hurt. And somebody does bite onto somebody real bad, this is another thing. You know, you still have to take responsibility for your dog. You know, Teyla, one time there was another lady, British lady, had some sort of wolfy dog. I'm not sure what it was, but Teyla and this dog had played together for some time, and for whatever reason they had collided running around real good, and they both got upset, and they both kind of went at each other for a minute. Lots of snarling. They went up and were wrestling, and Teyla had caught the other dog's nose with her teeth. She didn't bite down, but they were both, you know, coming snarling at each other's faces, and that turned into, you know, cut the other dog's nose pretty good. And I went up to the lady and made sure the other dog was okay, and that, you know, hey, you know, if there's any sort of, your dog causes an injury to another dog, then, you know, you should really kind of own that. And that's a risk of coming to the dog park. There's no doubt about that. I feel like it's satisfying and rewarding. Teyla loves playing with her friends at the dog park and getting to know other dogs. That's something that I kind of choose to take into account, but I always keep a close eye on her. And the other day at Fox Run, we just, you know, she and this other dog got into a scuffle, and me and the other owner just were like, oh, well, you know, it happened. We'll keep them away from each other, and that's what we did. You know, Fox Run, of course, is one of our larger dog parks here, so he just kind of went to another side, and you know, they didn't see each other again for the rest of the time, and that was a mature way of get into it. If you and your another person's dog fight, don't get into it with the other owner. And if they come at you aggressively, just be like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on today, and you know, playing the blame game never works, and that's just kind of being an adult sometimes. Being the bigger person is the way to go. And with Teyla, I oftentimes have to take that road because she does look like a wolf. And you get that, you know, people are just assume that she's being aggressive to be aggressive, and as much as we work on training those out, sometimes I just have to explain to people, hey, you know, she's just being dominant, and if somebody snaps back at her, Teyla instantly will back off. She wants no part of being in a dog fight, to be honest. She kind of turns into a big baby if somebody snaps at her. Not to say that she probably wouldn't defend herself, and she's a big dog, so keep an eye on it. And Teyla never is very far. Working on voice commands and stuff helps as well. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to kind of do a little vlog and throw up some footage of Teyla playing in the dog park, do something a little different. And you know, we're still out here doing Tamaskan things. I'm going to be probably working on some new videos and stuff. I've been kind of working on the other channel a little bit, but as we roll into the winter season, we'll be doing a lot more videos with Teyla. And now I just got a new mount for to put a action cam on Teyla's harness, so I'm excited to try that out. But hope you guys enjoyed watching. Taming the Tamaskan here. We'll catch you guys next time.